Good morning, good day and good evening everybody, and welcome to Nordic RC Visions. A very happy 10th of December to all of you, and we are proceeding with the TA-02SW build. Now if you want a place where things are moving a little faster, you can go check out my main RC channel here. For now we'll just get on with the build and proceed to step 17, 18 and 19. Before that, we're gonna talk a little about what happened in the last couple of days and correct a mistake. Yesterday, me and my boy opened parts bag C, which we're gonna need for step 15 to 24, and we assembled step 15 and 16, which basically is the front shock tower together with the front upper arms and the differential outputs or outdrives. So we finished up with this duck, which also can be a boat, and later I was informed that it is actually a robot. It's definitely a device that can thrill the hearts of both young and old. As you can see, I've already started to disassemble it again, because I need to go back and correct a grave mistake from step 13. During the disassembly I actually did it in the wrong order, so I also scratched my new shiny FRP tower. So be careful in which order you do it and where you place your screwdriver, because this material is easily scratched. I had to take this off because I need to get into the gearbox, opening this hatch here, and the screws were actually protruding and preventing this from coming off. So let's take a look at the mistake and correct it. I got the tip from the Swish. You can check out his new rebuild of a 25-year-old Manta Ray here. As he is currently rebuilding this, he has a keen eye for these gearboxes and was very kind to inform me that I had made a mistake. Well, many thanks to the Swiss. I am very happy for his help with this build. So first of all, we're gonna remove the hatch to the gearbox, and I'm not sure if it's visible in the build, the time-lapse build, but I was actually very frustrated with this not being able to be seated correctly. Now, sometimes you just go blind and think that Tamiya is the one to blame. But as you can see, it's actually me, because it's very important which way this diff is turned, because this part will actually, of course, not go together with these teeth. So I'm just gonna check if I have bent or misshaped anything forcing this down, but everything looks to be good, and I need to remove the gear, the differential gear, and just flip it 180 degrees as the Swiss informed me about. So I definitely never do a build without making some mistakes along the way, and I'm lucky to be building these kits on YouTube and have friends helping me with my mistakes. Thanks a lot to the Swiss. Luckily, this is an old race car, so I don't need to remove a lot of screws, just these two, and I can pop up this differential gear box cover and switch the differential around. So let's do that. working on cars you've already assembled and taking parts off again, you always have to back thread the screws, because you have threaded it into the plastic, and if you just turn it you might damage the thread. So always back thread it and go forward again, and as you can see it will stop and you will not strip any of the plastic thread. So back thread, make it seated into the old thread, and then you can screw down the screw again. As you can see, with the differential actually seated in the correct position now, everything is seated nicely and moves very smoothly. With the help from Bora, I think we got it all seated correctly now and have finished step 16. Now if you see any more mistakes right now or during the build days, please don't hesitate to make a comment about it in the comment section. I could surely need all the help I can get, and this mistake is probably not gonna be the first and only I will make. But now we should be good to go and proceed to step 17. And it has been very interesting to build these gears, especially because I've received a lot of comments about the different variants of the DF01 gears and the TA-02 gears. Some DF01s and TA-02s have ball differentials, some has a combination of gear differential and ball differential like this TA-02 commemorative edition, and there seems to be a lot of variants of the type of material combinations used in these eternal gears. Some again are made of plastic and metal, and some are all plastic like this one. But we are all finished and good to go. We still have some slop in these upper arms, just like we experienced with the rear upper arms. We could probably install a tiny little washer more, especially in the rear here. It doesn't really affect the movement of the knuckle arms, or I suspect the front uprights. Ideally, it would probably be a good idea to switch over to turnbuckles with the ball ends attachments for these kind of FRP towers eventually, but right now we're just gonna proceed building it all stock. We are ready to proceed to step 17, which is the assembly of the universal axles, and we are ready for step 18, which is the assembly of the front suspension and the attachment of the front suspension. Since these steps are very similar to the steps we did with the rear suspension and rear hub-up universal axles, I will just be assembling these steps off camera and show you the end result of each step. Now, the most significant difference between these are the universal axles. The front uses a length of 44, where the rear uses a length of 39. I suspect this is because the Porsche 934 has a wider rear wheels and tires, and the front has a narrow kind of wheels and tires. So we're probably gonna need longer suspension arms and longer universal axles. Another difference is of course the use of the uprights and C-hubs, which allows for steering in the front compared to the rigid knuckle arms in the rear. So these are made of the typical very hard, brittle Tamiya plastic, which will probably break if we encounter any crashes, whereas the upper arms, which are already detached and cut away from here, and the lower arms are actually made of a much softer kind of plastic. So Another thing I'll also be doing is, for the first time, I'll assemble these without the use of any AW, the anti-wear Tamiya grease in the joints here. Without further ado, let's finally, after a lot of talks and corrections, get to the actual build of today. That concludes step 19, and we have a full functioning front gearbox with the front suspension attached. So it's a pretty standard TA-02 gearbox with a gear differential and the hub-up option, the universal axles and the FRP shock tower. Tomorrow we'll head straight to the build. I hope I haven't done anything wrong here. As you can see, some of the thread lock is actually visible here. This is due to the fact that I just dip the screw into the thread lock. You can also apply it very carefully around the thread of the screw with a toothpick, as Tamiya suggests. The bag C actually also included the parts necessary for the CVA shock that's included in this kit. So tomorrow we'll head straight to the shock build, and the rest of the week I hope I can make short videos for Tuesday and Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, and we can have a longer talk about the completed steps in the weekend. That's all for now. Today's Tamiya greetings goes to Sigbarth RC. I don't think he's a subscriber of this channel, but I have been a subscriber to his channel, Sigbarth RC, for quite a long time, and he has as well been a subscriber to my main RC channel, Nordic RC Visions. I have had a good time with him, and he has actually helped me with some of my builds, pointed out some of my faults, my mistakes, which has made it possible for me to correct them. So a big shout out goes to Sigbarth RC here. He has a lot of Tamiyas, a lot of builds, running videos. So if you're into Tamiya, check out his channel here. I'll see you tomorrow. Happy holidays and take care.